Over the last few years, it's been attacked by the relay method, where the thieves don't even have to have the key. They literally stand outside the front door on the house, and another one stands near the car, and boost the signal of the key within the house. Ford Fiesta was the most stolen car, and it has been for the last 3 to 4 years. At the supercar driver events, obviously there's been Adrian Newey, Carl Cox, Dizzy Rascal, people like that. I did go to court. It wasn't about theft though, it was about a harassment case. Program the computer to program a key within minutes, and then literally it acts as that it's their car.
Hi Gav, so how long have you been with Global Telemetrics and Smart Track, and what made you work in vehicle tracking?
I started in Global Telemetrics Smart Track in 2008, 17 years ago. I started here working with him. I've known Jim, one of the owners, since I was around about 11 years old. And for years I've always helped him out with IT and marketing and little items like that on my days off from my other jobs. And I was made redundant from the advertising agency that I was working for. And literally, I was walking out a couple of days after my first initial meeting, and Jim rang me to say, did I want to come and work for him? Luckily then, 3 weeks later, I started working for Smart Track and Global Telemetrics.
And what changes have you seen in the business since you started?
Loads of changes regarding technology. Most of it is that the tracking devices have changed, the SIM side's changed, the connectivity has changed. So it's all mainly technology based.
And obviously we're big in car theft and stolen vehicle recovery. What have you seen? What's changed with car theft over the years? Again,
it's technology. When I first started, how cars were being stolen was by physically the car key itself. The thieves would have to pinch the key. They'd use the rod through the letterbox to try and capture keys. They'd hijack people. They'd burgle houses to get the key. So they'd do methods like that. Over the last few years, it's been attacked by the relay method, where the thieves don't even have to have the key. They literally stand outside the front door on the house, and another one stands near the car, and boost the signal of the key within the house. And once the car's started, the other person drives around, picks the other person up, and the car's gone.
So if people are watching this and they don't know a lot about us, what should someone do if their car's stolen, and what do we do as a response?
It all depends. Obviously, if they've got one of our devices, they would actually contact the police, get a crime reference number. They would then go to give us a call, and literally we would start the theft process. The tracking procedure starts with our repatriations team by calling them. We give the location to them. They then stand guard over the vehicle until the police can attend.
And what do you think is the biggest misconception with car theft?
The biggest misconception of car theft is that people think that their car wouldn't be stolen. Over the last year, we've been to many events, and people have actually turned around to me and said, oh, my car's only a Ford Fiesta. It won't get stolen. I'm not that worried. However, we re-educated a few people by telling them that the Ford Fiesta was the most stolen car, and it has been for the last 3 to 4 years.
So you must have dealt with some pretty memorable situations over the years with thefts. What are some of the ones that stand out?
One of my funniest ones, and I still can't remember if it's one that I read about or was something that I dealt with myself. I can't remember. It was a few years back. It's where the police were following a vehicle that was stolen, and they were literally a little bit behind it, and I think the thieves knew that the police were there. They pulled over and made a run for it through these woods, but it had been snowing that night and left footprints all the way to where they were actually hiding in these woods, which gave an easy chance for the police to actually then go and get them. Another story is one of the highlights of when I worked in the theft side was we was chasing a BMW down the motorway with the police. And normally you'd speak to the control centre. Well, this time I was actually speaking to the police car themselves. So I was talking to the police cars, and the BMW started to go at such a speed that the police had to hold back because of safety. So then they put me in touch with a helicopter. So I was talking to both. I weren't just talking to the police car or the control centre. They were asking me to make sure that if they'd got eyes on, what speeds the car was doing at the time and everything else. So we literally could follow the whole theft right from start to finish with the police.
So that must be quite exhilarating, but have you ever had one where you've seen it all through? I know some people here have been to court and things like that to give evidence. Have you ever had to do that?
I did go to court. It wasn't about theft though, it was about a harassment case. A bit of a strange situation. I remember catching the train from Loughborough to London, getting off at St Pancras and then having to travel on tube all the way to near Wembley it was. So I'm on the tube, I get a phone call from the police officer that I'm having to meet at the court itself. And they're saying, "Where are you?" And I'm saying, "Oh, you told me to be there for 1 o'clock. I was making sure I got there." So this was about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So I got there. As soon as I got there, the police lady came up to me, thanked me for my time, for coming down and everything else. And then literally says, "The court's actually delayed. Will you go for lunch?" So I actually went for lunch in the cafe across the road from the courthouse. As sitting there, I was talking to a family next to me. Literally, I gets into court, and that family I was talking to were on the other side against me. So I'm then having to go against the people I've just literally spent lunch with.
What would you say? Obviously, it's always about trends. You just mentioned relay theft as a trend. What's one trend that vehicle crime that most people aren't aware of yet?
You kind of got me on that, but I would say key reprogramming and things like that is a mass on the rise and so on. Relay you've mentioned, which is something else that is a massive approach on vehicle theft at the moment. But yeah, they can get in with a computer, they program the computer, they program a key within minutes, and then literally it acts as that it's their car. They drive away with it and they're gone.
Of course, we see a lot of comments saying, "Oh, that's gone abroad, that's straight off, you'll never get that, it's in a container." Is that the case? Or
No, not necessarily. Most thefts, they do a cleansing period. So literally the car will be driven to a quiet cul-de-sac or street or industrial area, parked up on a side of a road or outside somebody else's house or so on, and the thieves will walk past it and check or drive past it just to see if the vehicle's there a couple of days later. If the vehicle's there, they tend to think that there's no security on the vehicle and no tracking device or anything like that, so they would actually then take the vehicle to what they were going to do originally with it.
so, moving on a little bit from thefts, we'll go back to it in a bit, but now you're part of the marketing team, you're the face of Global Telemetrics social media. What do you enjoy most about doing the social media videos and the marketing?
I do like the filming type, and I like the acting roles, but I'm no actor, I'm afraid. We do have a little bit of a relaxed theme that we go about on our filming. We don't stick to the strictness of it. We try and make it a little bit easy watching and a bit more light-hearted instead of going straight into hard thefts and things like that.
And what would you say is the most difficult thing about selling a tracking device, marketing a tracking device?
Many customers ask me, what does it look like? If we advertise what the actual tracking device looked at, then the thieves know what it looks like. So we hide the aspect. It's one of the Thatcham rulings that we do not advertise what the product looks like. So obviously we hide that fact of what the physical device is like.
Out of all the ones you've done so far, what's been your favourite social media campaign that you've done?
I liked the one where one of my colleagues was dressed up as a police officer, and how people on the comments have kind of took that seriously. But then other people haven't, in regards to it's a Timu police outfit and things like that. However, some people are saying, how can that police officer be real, and things like that. I found it funny, to be honest.
So you said you've gone to loads of events, and we've been to loads of events as a business this year. What events are you looking forward to next year?
Quite a few. Obviously, the main ones we work with every year is Supercar Driver. Looking forward to both of those big events that we deal with and we sponsor. There's a big Yanomize event that we're on the cards for us. We also have a few other events that we may be attending. And of course, the highlights are literally the Salon Privé and Concours of Elegance, if I've got that right.
And so I'm going to put you on the spot. What was your favourite event that you visited last year?
My favourite event that I visited as a guest was Concours of Elegance. I absolutely loved that event. Really nice, classic cars, new cars, and then obviously all the cars are rated different days and different sections and so on. I do remember seeing one of my old childhood dream cars, the 205 1.9 GTI, winning one of the actual awards.
So in that case, I take it you've seen some amazing cars this year. Other than the Peugeot that you mentioned, what's your favourite car you've seen this year?
My favourite car I've seen this year is the McLaren W1. Seen that at Salon Privé. It was on a special exhibition there. Absolutely lovely looking thing. But I am still holding out for the F80. I'm sure I'll see one of them in the next coming months.
So when you're doing events, what's the biggest thing that customers say to you? What's the biggest message that you're getting across?
All actually depends on the event I'm at. So we started last year doing the Initiate show. And again, that's where majority of people were coming to us, speaking to us about their car isn't worth protecting. And that's where we was explaining that the Ford Fiesta was the most stolen car. Yet, it's different balance for different events. So at some, obviously, when we're wearing our branding, people come up to us, they literally say, oh, I've got one of your devices, I've got your card, show us the card, and literally talk to us about the device. So it all depends on the actual event you're at. So the supercar owners and the more everyday car owners are completely different.
Yeah, so over the events, and obviously we've been at a lot of events this year, you must have met some pretty cool people, some pretty interesting people. Who have you met?
At the supercar driver events, obviously there's been Adrian Newey, Carl Cox, Dizzy Rascal, people like that. We then went to another event at Mallory Park where Dizzy Rascal stood talking to us in the nice VIP area we got invited to. Another funny story, I was at an event going to see Paddy McGuinness, and as I walked through the car park, he was walking out at the same time, and I kind of bumped into him. I says, oh, how you doing? You all right? And he went, yeah, you're fine, yeah. And I goes, do you know what? I've got nothing for you to sign. And he went, oh, it's okay, don't worry. I'll have a photo with you. So I had my photo. And then while I was having my photo took with him, I thought, do you know what? My driver's card. So I got my driver card out of my wallet, and luckily he had a pen on him, and he signed my driver detection card.
So, Gav, it's been really good talking to you. Is there any advice or anything that you've got for people watching?
I would always say get security. Mobiliser, tracking device. For anybody who keeps their car outside and so on and not garage the vehicle, I'd always say not to keep anything on show. It's things like that. Not to start your car while you're warming it up in the morning and walk away. Anything like that. Just it's basically common sense at the end of the day. Don't let them make it. Don't make it easy for them, because it always pays to invest in security.